Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to share from a few of the Pelham team and who will be leading our times of celebrations, reflections and thanksgivings, of which we have many. We're honoured to have the Lord Lieutenant, Miss Andrew Blackman, with us today. He'll be formally opening the space very shortly. And just on practicality, when the ribbon is cut, we've got such a crowd, a few of us are just going to peel off to the hallway, have that cutting moment, and then we'll invite everyone to come up to the top floor. And when we're up there, we've hopefully laid on an interactive display of the Pelham's journey so far, predating us, going right back to 1877, I think is the earliest document we've got, telling the story of the Pelham as a building, as a central place in the community, and an opportunity to see what we've been up to over the last 10 years. We'd also love to hear from you today. So if you haven't already been given a postcard, we've got some Pelham postcards, and what we'd love for you to answer today is, what do you love about the Pelham? And before you leave, and as you leave, there's a board down the bottom just to stick your postcard on the board. And we just want to take a moment to celebrate all the work of the Pelham over the last 10 years. Also, as you go up, there's a map of Bexhill and the local area. We'd love you just to put a pin in it with a sticky dot, whether it's your home place or your workplace, whatever your connection is to Bexhill or surrounding areas. We want to look at the reach of the Pelham as a charity in our community. And there's an iPad or two just floating around as well, just for any comments, suggestions, any ideas of things that we can do here at the Pelham. We're also taking the chance at the moment to launch our new Friends of the Pelham campaign. And as we look to double our annual giving at the moment to another £1,000 a month in regular donations, which would really enable us to move forward with even more certainty in some challenging times. So if you're inspired today, you'll see a board upstairs, an opportunity to give either as a one-off or regularly, and it really would make a world of difference to the things that we're doing here as an organisation. And once you've explored the top floor, we invite you back down to the coffee lounge where our team are just getting light refreshments ready for us all now. So I'd also like to take a moment to say thank you to Neil from Southdown. Southdown has sponsored the event today, so thank you very much for your support and encouragement along the way. And I'll now pass over to Jerry Hocking, who's the Chair of the Trustees here at Pelham.
Thank you. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks, Ollie. And let me just start by saying we're thrilled to have the Lord Lieutenant with us again. Andrew Blackman. Andrew's been here, I think, 3 or 4 times now over the years, and your presence and support and encouragement are amazing and really motivating for the team here, so thank you. Also, there are so many of you here today that I wanted to just say thank you. We haven't met, because I've been only on the team for about 3 years around the trustees, and but it's such a privilege to be able to be involved with the team and to help as we develop our vision for the future. Today we've got funders, and let me say first of all thank you to those of you who help fund the work that goes on here. It makes a world of difference to the community that we serve, and this facility is for you to help in whatever way you can to serve the community around us. So thank you, those of you that are representing funders. There's local government, and it's great to have you guys here, the head of the district council and the mayor, and we thank you for your service too. We thank you that you care about this community and you want to do the best for it too. And thank you for your support for us and joining with us today as we think about how to carry this work forward. Partners, Ollie's mentioned Southdown, there are others too, and we want to find more partners in the future. I think there's a great opportunity for this facility to be absolutely rammed all day, every day. Now, Ollie doesn't know, and Beck certainly doesn't know, I've said every day. You know what I mean? At least 5 days we can have this facility full fully deployed on behalf of the community. And so we're looking to develop partnerships with you and with others going forward. I wanted to finish by saying there's another group here I wanted to really pay tribute to, and that's, you're going to see a superb top floor in a moment. And there's a company called Base Build. Scott and Alice are here today, and I want to thank you to them and their team. They're a brilliant company based over in Westford, and they conducted that project brilliantly. We were able to continue to do what we had to do during the day, so thank you to the team from Base Build for getting us to where we are today. And talking of the top floor, it sort of didn't start with the top floor. The refurbishment was kind of finished with the top floor. So it started, actually, when the place was a wreck, and what I wanted to do was to hand over at this point to Bob Harper, who I would say is, I'd say almost the father, and with Scott the mother, of the vision for the Pelham. And it's so good that Bob's been able to join with us today, and he's going to share with us a few minutes on the story, the journey that started out a little while back and got us to today. So we'll hand over to Bob now, and as we do, I'll say thank you to the staff, to Peely, and to Emma, and to Jackie, and to Ollie, who do an absolutely brilliant job arriving every day and turning our vision and values into reality for the people of Bexhill.
Thank you very much, Jerry. My Lord Lieutenant and all distinguished guests, it is such a pleasure to be here. I'm feeling the years going by a little bit, but I haven't been called the father of a project before. The truth is that this is a project that has been so characterised by teams of people working together right the way through from its very inception until the day today when we celebrate this wonderful milestone. Well, two really. The upstairs being completed, and of course the celebration of 10 years since the building was available. The vision, first of all, let's just think about the vision of this place. Where did it come from? What was the idea? Interestingly enough, the vision was born in a little church up the road with about 80 members, 80 people at the church, and not a lot of money at all. The vision was that there would be a facility within the community. Nominally it was within Sidley, which is slightly unfortunate because we're not quite within Sidley.
Don't tell the funders that, Bob.
I think they've got their signpost in the wrong place on the road. But for a facility for Sidley, and a facility which would give them something extraordinary and wonderful. The vision that we were given was very big, very, very big. And I was encouraged when I saw a quote by Nicky Gumbel, who's was the leader until earlier this year, of one of the largest churches in the country, that is the Holy Trinity Brompton. And he said, pray for God's vision. Ask God to make it so big that without him it is impossible. Well, that was a situation that we were quite familiar with on a number of occasions through the time. It really did seem impossibly big. But it was thought about and prayed about, and it was crystallised in a meeting. And this meeting was even though it's the 10th year of the Pelham being open, this meeting was on the 21st of December 2011. And I want to tell you briefly what that vision said, what we concluded. I'm sure, I feel sure you've probably got the sheets up somewhere.
Yeah,
yes,
upstairs.
Yes, I thought you might. Yes, so the flip chart sheets are upstairs. We wanted a space first of all for the benefit of Sydney. We wanted to make it a safe place, a place where people could walk in and feel as though they were in a place of safety, a place of care, where they feel loved and in every sense welcomed in, right from the word go. We wanted to, incidentally, all of these things are written down on a sheet of paper I've got in my pocket, which is the notes from that meeting back in 2011. We wanted to make it a place of opportunity where people could come in and they could learn. They could learn new skills, they could learn whatever it was, and equipped. We wanted it to be a place where there was the opportunity to create work and to get people involved in work. We foresaw that there was the possibility of apprenticeships being run through the Pelham. And of course we wanted to make certain that people had the opportunity to come in and work in the context of volunteering. Because obviously being a place of refreshment and welcome, there's always the scope for volunteering in lots and lots of different ways. We wanted it to be, we foresaw that it was going to be a place of decision. Now, I wondered about this when I read this on the notes. Incidentally, I wrote back in 2011. I didn't understand fully. But I wondered what decision meant, and I read through it, and what it meant was, we wanted it to be a place where people could come in and have the opportunity to take time and look at their lives and look at what they were doing, and to look for the potential for change and reaching decision points about that. We wanted it to be a place of counsel and healing, and I think possibly we were ahead of the curve at this stage back in 2011. But we absolutely foresaw that counsel for people who needed it, and a place of healing. Healing from what? Healing from wounds, hurts, failures, whatever it may be. We wanted it to be that. And we wanted it to be a place of help, where if somebody was in difficulties, they could actually come and find help. They could find advice, they could find whatever help it was they needed or be directed to it. And we wanted it to be a place that draws in resources, and these resources being skills, the resources being finance, the resources being partnership, and also we anticipated that there would be encouragement from the local community. And we wanted it to be a place where people could come irrespective of their age, irrespective of disability. We weren't going to disbar people because they weren't able to move around or whatever it may be, whatever the disability may be indeed. We wanted it to be a fully inclusive place. And the last thing that we logged was the fact that we wanted it to be a place where God could be found. Because a place of prayer, a place of faith. One of the things which I do want to say, though, is the fact that it sounds as though, from what I've just said, that there was a blueprint that was developed in 2011. Absolutely not. Absolutely. We had no idea how it was going to pan out, excepting in the immediate future. And that's how the project went. The whole project was based upon going from one position to the next, then praying and going to the next. And the resourcing occurring as we went through the different stages. So as a result of all of this, building upon this broad vision and then seeking the mechanism, the means to move forwards, we end up where we are today. I haven't been on the board for a couple of years now, and I look around and I don't know what you think when you come into the place, but I just think, wow, what an extraordinary building, what an extraordinary facility. The number of people who come through here, the footfall is so significant. It seems to me that it's been wonderful. And so much credit has to go to the various teams and people and organisations who have worked hard to achieve that result. If you were to ask me what the Pelham really is, let's boil it right the way down. I would say, I'm going to get a bit emotional here, I would say it's a house of miracles. Because there's been miracle after miracle after miracle in this place. And I can only say, thank you, Father, for the miracles, and let there be lots more of them. And I'd like to hand over now to Emma Bell.
Much shorter, as you can tell, so I have to like be on my tippy toes. So I can shout though, quite good. Thank you. So I'm really fortunate. I class myself as really fortunate. I'm kind of one of the last members of the core team. So I've only actually been here 4 years, which means even though I didn't know it, I've played the long game, because I am actually now based on the top floor, which we'll get to go and see in a minute, which I think is actually the best space in the building. So I'm really quite fortunate with that. So I've had the privilege of being involved in the counselling service here at Pelham from its, I wouldn't say from its beginning, because it sounds like the beginning was back in 2011, but certainly from the conversations that I started in lockdown with Peely and with Ollie over Zoom, having some conversations there. And I didn't expect that I would be heading up the service here. It literally was just conversations at that point. So we actually opened in September 2021 with just 2 counsellors, myself and one of my colleagues in this building. And since then we've grown to have 8 counsellors and 8 student counsellors here, which we're now occupying in the top floor. And we have since opening received over 250 adult referrals and 90 young person referrals into our service, which just shows the need. And we're also an open-ended counselling service, and it does just flow, which I know people find hard to believe, but I'm thinking House of Miracles, it definitely is, because it just works, and it works really well here. So the top floor is obviously where we are based, which you get to go and see. And at the moment we're not at our full capacity, so we have room to grow, which I'm really excited about. We have room to take on at least 5 more counsellors. We also have room to grow in the creative space that you'll go upstairs and see, into family therapy, children's work, all sorts of things is what we want to be doing up there, and expanding our service to be more creative and just more able to reach people in Sidley and beyond. We're wanting to increase our group work. We started a couple of years ago reaching out to the young people again in Sidley, running resilience courses and courses to help with anxiety. And we have really positive feedback from our young people for that. But we want to expand and actually also run courses for adults as well to come, so that people who also can't afford individual counselling, coming to a group is an easier and a cheaper way to achieve that. Last September we started our support group for people who are bereaved by suicide. That's been going from strength to strength, and again we want to build on that. We're hoping to start a group for people who are under 18, because the closest support for under 18s who've been bereaved by suicide is Brighton. So we're really wanting to bring that much more local, so that they don't have to travel quite so far. So we have big visions and big things that we want to see in that top floor, and we want to partner a lot more with other organisations as well to come and utilise the amazing, fantastic space that we have up there. So I feel very privileged to be standing here. I feel very grateful for the conversations way back in 2020, and that I get to be here and heading up this amazing service. So thank you. I don't know who I'm handing over to now. I'm guessing Ollie.
Almost there, but not quite. So for over a decade now, the Pelham has been opening its doors wide every week, stepping out in faith to serve our community here in Bexhill. Our desire has always been to welcome people without judgment, with a listening ear and a decent cup of coffee. We've chosen to err on the side of generosity at every opportunity and to make a long-term commitment to build friendships and connections here. Now, I'll be first to say it hasn't always gone to plan, but I do believe and know that we've given it our all, and it's our team of volunteers, staff and trustees that have made this possible. And of course, we've taken on this ambitious project and seen it come to life once again. The Pelham is a living, breathing story of redemption, taking the hotel from the ashes and seeing it being a central point in the community once again. Bob and I haven't shared these notes, but the Pelham in itself is a miracle, full of many little miracles that bring us to this point today. We set out to prevent isolation by building a culture of family here, and it's our desire to see people live life to the full, whether through championing life and beating suicide running space, or a listening ear in support of our counselling service. We want to inspire this generation to reach their potential and empower people to believe in themselves. And it's one of the greatest privileges of my role to see this happen over the years here. The Pelham has changed me and keeps challenging me every day. Through valleys and mountain tops, sleepless nights, late night speech writing, and moments of jubilation, passing moments with people and friends for life. I owe the Pelham a tremendous amount, and I hope that it's done the same for many others, maybe for you in the room too. One day has never been the same here, and I'm confident in saying that a day has never gone as planned. That is the beauty of the Pelham. The demonstration of our desire that to serve the community is our first priority. Harnessing the goodwill of local people and the support of many people, we together have made this possible. And as the story of the Pelham shows, there is hope. Lives can be transformed and futures can be filled with dreams once again. And I believe that there can be joy, even in the midst of darkness and pain. And we hope here that people can see light in the tunnel and light at the end of the tunnel as we work together. So I know we have some thank yous, but it would be right to say thank you again to a number of people in the room. The funding for the top floor has come from a number of sources, but the Ministry of Housing, Community and Local Government for the Opening Up Partnership Fund has been instrumental in making this happen. Locally, this has been absolutely championed by Rotherham District Council, and my thanks go to Laura and Joe, which pretty much 2 years to date. We had a quick coffee with Joe and a quick meeting at Lauren's office, and then it began to fall into motion. And then one other person that has to be mentioned is Anne, who has championed the Pelham and many other Living Up projects in the community. And we would not be here on this day without Anne's support. We would have got there eventually, but we've been skipped forward months, maybe even years, by Anne's tenacity and the way in which she so cares about where the money is spent. So thank you, Anne, for all your energy. It's right to mention Ernest Kleinwort Charitable Trust, who've been a long-term supporter of our people and our projects. The Benefat Trust, who funded a significant capital investment for the second time round, along with our basement back in 2023. The Bernard Sunny Foundation, again, they invested in the basement a couple of years ago, and once again have invested in the top floor. Sussex Community Foundation as well, been a faithful supporter of the Pelham for over a decade now. Kevin reminded me our first application was for a couple of cookers in the kitchen, which was as significant then as a contribution to the top floor as now. And other funders and people that support our bids through local groups, the Rotary clubs, the Lions, all these things make such a difference. On average, it takes about 22 different funders to fund the work here at the Pelham, so every little really does make a difference. So whether it's the local, the regional, the national funders, we are incredibly grateful for your trust and investment in us here. As you know, the Pelham has been a complex capital redevelopment, and I just want to give thanks to Pump House Designs and Sam. I think he was here earlier, so he's not here today, but they've been with us drawing plans and sketches for close to 15 years now. We've got Tristan down here from your building consultant who led this project in terms of quantity surveying and project management. And after the last project in the basement, the board and I agreed that I wouldn't project manage it again, and we really did need to do it properly this time. So Tristan and Dan have made it really the easiest project for me. I don't think I lost one night of sleep during the project, whereas before it's been a bit of a challenge. So they've done a fantastic job for us here. Kate and Scott from Base Build, builders and surveyors, they've been exceptional. And from the first day we met them on site, it was evident their dedication to making sure this project was exceptional was evident. But you'll see that they not only promised that, but they've absolutely delivered on their promise. And Kate and Scott have been excellent, and we know we've got a long-term partnership with them here in making sure this building stays as beautiful as it looks now. I think Scott's in trouble because he's left the labouring team out on site, but I do want to recognise Johnny, Sean, Darren, Aaron and Christian, who've worked so hard here and made this place possible, as well as all the subcontractors who've made this happen. It's not the easiest place to run a construction site, as you can imagine. The odd interruption, can you be quiet please, as a group trying to have a presentation, but we do find a way through, but I am pleased that we don't have to do quite as much of that anymore. And also the team we have here, the trustees, we've got an incredible board of trustees here, and we have had them all through the years, and we welcome back some former trustees here today, and just say a huge thank you for your support and your passion here for the Pelham. Thank you on a personal note for believing in me, for believing in the crazy ideas, sometimes for just guiding me back to kind of the straight and narrow, sometimes for trusting us all, the team, to really step forward. But you've really backed us all here as a team, and we're incredibly grateful for your support. We have an incredible team of volunteers here, as you know, and I think one of the greatest compliments is that people know we have some volunteers and we have some staff, but I don't think people realise quite so many of our team here are voluntary. They give an incredible amount to us, not just their time, which is in itself valued, but the skill, the determination, and the joy and the privilege they bring to this place each day. They are truly the heartbeat of the Pelham. Our staff, Sharon, our housekeeper, bless her, every morning she comes in, tidies up the dirty footprints and all the mess that we leave in the community, but she just does it so faithfully. Ellie and Maria, our kitchen team, who've been here for a cake or a coffee or a kitchen, you would have been served by them. And even right now, they're preparing food for us as we stand here. And Josh and Ruby, again, running our youth work, they are now leading our next youth club. So things carry on at the Pelham, even on their lowest. It's right for me to recognise the incredible senior leadership team that we have here, and I'm incredibly blessed by this. One of the things that I've been blessed by being a charity leader is to have an incredible team, and it does make it just so much more enjoyable, but more than that, it's an absolute joy to serve them. So I just want to take a moment to thank them. Thank you, Peely, for your servant-heartedness, for your dynamism and your inclusivity, and for making the place a better place. Emma for her wisdom and her determination, her kindness, and her such care of people in our team and in our community. And Jackie for your pioneering spirit, your inspiration, and your self-sacrifice to put other people first. I think it's also right to thank my wife, who's incredibly patient with me. Spoken since I stayed up quite late last night writing a speech, so I guess it's an apology as well as a thanks. But the Pelham is an extension of our home, and I say that for myself. I also know that's true for our team as well. This place is a very special place to us, all as a team and as a family. The odd trip to check that the doors have been locked, lights have been left on, why is the alarm going off in the middle of the night? Or can I just have one more night right in the bed, because I should have done it, but it hasn't been done. So I've been incredibly patient. But we've got an incredibly supportive team, because we're incredibly proud of what we have achieved, but yet there's so much more that we'd like to do. And we are in it for the long term. We're absolutely delighted to get to this stage, but we've got lots more ideas. We really want to keep investing, and it's absolutely a privilege to be in the position that we are here today. As Bob and Jerry already shared, it's right to give thanks to God. This project goes right back to the early days of the church, and as the Pelham is a Christian charity, I just want to thank God and acknowledge His faithfulness and provision for guiding us along the way. So as we celebrate, and we're almost there now, the completion and transformation of the Pelham as a building, and a decade of service and hosting our community, I would like to say that Pelham is much more than a building. I believe it is a family of people who long to make a difference in the place where they live. It is a movement of hope that wants to meet people where they're at and see that there is a life to be lived ahead of them. The Pelham is many different things to many different people, but what unites us all is a desire to see hope restored, life enjoyed, and a community thrive. So thank you very much for all of your support. And just for a few moments, Andrew's going to come and speak to us, and then we will let you upstairs.
That's what I always like to hear at the beginning of any speech, is just for a few moments. It's music to my ears. But I don't think there really is much for me to add, and I know that I'm preaching to the converted, but what a fantastic place the Pelham is. It really is just what it says on the tin. It's a community hub embedded right in the heart of its community. I'd just like to kind of pick out the things that I think are really important here. We've heard them all already, but there is that great passion that we've heard in all of the speeches, a real passion for what you do, a real commitment to it, and also the sort of long-term vision I think is so important. I think the reason that funders and backers are always so keen on the Pelham is for many, many reasons, but one of those reasons is the fact that it's clearly here for the long term and that you really have that vision for the future. And I always think part of the vision for the future is a responsiveness to the needs of now and also to the needs that are going to come around the corner that perhaps you don't know about. And the Pelham has always been absolutely brilliant with running space and the youth hub and everything that you do here. You're listening to your community and really responding in the most fantastic way. So this really just is such a pleasure to be here for your 10th anniversary. It seems amazing you've been here for 10 years. I'm sure this really is just the beginning. Perhaps Ollie, you don't want to hear this, but I'm sure the Pelham will still be going strong in sort of 50 years' time. And some of us will be here to celebrate that, and perhaps others might be elsewhere. But it really does have that sense of something that is so embedded and here for the long term. Thank goodness for the good of this community and the wider county. One other thing I'd like to say, especially with some of the perhaps people who've been involved with this project, one of the things here is also the quality of what you do. Not just all of the projects you run and the services you offer, but the feel of this place is always, it just feels as though it's really done with thought and with love. And I think that makes a very big difference. Some of the people who come here for your services won't perhaps be used to quite such smart surroundings. And I think the fact that you treat everyone with the respect of bringing them to such a wonderful place is also something that perhaps I'd like to sort of emphasise. But anyway, congratulations on your 10th anniversary. We haven't quite cut the ribbon yet, but well done on the top floor project. Well done completing this building, and here's to many, many more anniversaries to come.
We'll just quickly go and cut the ribbon.